In today's episode, Melissa asks, as part of the Win with AI Summit, the IBM Summit that I'm attending in New York in September, I have a link in the show notes. Full disclosure, IBM is compensating me to attend. She asks, how can enterprises be proactive about privacy and regulation, data privacy and regulation? Well, why are we asking this question? We're asking this question, especially within a marketing context, because marketing is the Wild West, right? Marketing technology right now is the Wild West. It has no governance, no oversight. The CMO is buying all sorts of crazy stuff, then the VP of marketing goes and buys some stuff, and then the marketing director goes and buys some stuff, and you got all these different technologies, and there's no regulation. There's no internal regulation of what's happening with the deployment of technology, even though since 2016, the CMO has spent more on IT technologies than the CIO. Yet, just nobody's conducting the orchestra. So, what should enterprises be doing? Well, here's the thing. IT figured out a really long time ago that governance is important, even if it is onerous, even if it is not fun, even if it slows down business operations. But because IT for decades has been perceived primarily as a cost center, a lot of the governance around it is designed to make it as efficient as possible, to make it compliant as possible with regulations, and to help the enterprise grow appropriately within the bounds of regulatory requirements. So what marketers should be doing, what anybody who's working with data should be doing, is adhering to one of the many, many different standards that are available for data privacy. And for governance of IT overall. And this is for marketers, not for the IT people. But marketers need to adopt the same open standards that IT people have. The one that I think is probably the best fit is the ISO 38500 framework, ISO 38500 2015. And I'll actually bring this up here. This framework is designed to help companies be compliant. And if you want a copy of this as a PDF, I'll put a link in the show notes. It's available on braintrustinsights.com. But the ISO 38500 framework, the governance of IT for the organization, covers 6 functional areas, six concepts: responsibility, strategy, acquisition, performance, conformance, and humanity. And each of these areas has rules, has guidelines, has things set out to help a company manage those areas. So under responsibility, this is corporate responsibility. This is business strategy. What is the business going to do? What are the business's goals? What outcomes do we care about as a business? That's the first part. And if that's not defined, then of course your marketing technology is going to be a zoo, and your AI is going to be a zoo. Second is marketing technology strategy, or AI strategy, if you will. The infrastructure, the architecture, the reason you're doing stuff, the processes by which you select technologies to buy. Again, if it's the Wild West in your organization, you don't have marketing technology strategy. You don't have somebody saying, this is what we do, this is not what we do. We need tools in this category, we don't need tools in this category. The tools that we do need have to fit certain requirements. The third is the acquisition. This is the balance sheet. And this is so important because this is something that companies don't do in marketing, which is, what value does marketing bring? What costs does marketing bring? What are the costs of all the software as services, which are typically operating expenses, not capital expenses? What is the capital? What hardware and things, what assets do you have? And especially in marketing technology and really in AI and data science, what is the value of the IP you're creating? Remember that one of the most important things about artificial intelligence is that you're creating models. Those models have intrinsic economic value as long as they're functioning correctly. That is something that has to be accounted for and has a real dollar value. And if you don't have a balance sheet for your marketing technology and your AI, you are not going to be able to account for the full value of what it is that you're creating. Remember, data is an asset. Models are an asset. The fourth bucket is operations. What do you do? How do you manage your marketing technology? Especially security. So going back to the question of data privacy and regulation, How are you managing the security of your marketing technology? Most marketers, no offense, are not exactly IT wizards to begin with, and so there is a substantial risk of people doing things like leaving PII, personally identifiable information, unencrypted in tables, for example. That's just a terrible practice. Buying technologies without vetting them for their compliance to known standards like ISO 27001 or Six Sigma, being able to say, like, yes, this is a lean and efficient operational tool or vendor or things like that. The fifth bucket is risk and compliance. This is governance, conformance, risk management, audits. You get to go through things like SOX and COBIT and DSS in order to determine that you are complying with regulations. This is the part that everybody hates in governance, but this is the insurance policy that covers your butt in case something goes wrong. If something goes wrong, you can say, we adhere to all these different compliance standards, all these different security standards. Stuff happens, but if you've made all reasonable efforts to comply with security regulations, with best practices, then you can say, yes, we made our best good faith efforts. We've complying with everything we possibly can, and things still went sideways, because that happens in life. But if you don't have that paper trail, you are at significant risk as a marketer with marketing technology. And the sixth area is change management. This is, how do you get people to do more, to be more capable, and to be able to accomplish more with the stuff that you're giving them? So you're buying all these marketing technology tools, you're buying all these AI tools and software and vendors. Is it making a difference? Well, not if the people don't use it, not if you don't have processes in place to help people to use it. And so these are these 6 areas. This is how you become proactive about data privacy and regulation. You measure on things like business metrics, balanced scorecard, Zachman framework, PCI DSS, Six Sigma, capability maturity model, all of these different metrics that IT has been working with this stuff for decades. And so if we can bring it into marketing, into the CMO's office, into the CMTO's office, if you have one of those people in your organization, this will help you become a better run organization, a better run marketing organization, and to use your marketing technology in a more compliant, more intelligent way. If you don't have this or some other governance framework in place, that is how you become proactive about data privacy. That's how you become proactive about regulation. You adopt known standards, and then when things do go sideways, you can say, yes, we're working towards compliance in all these different areas. This area is where something went wrong, and so we're going to double down on fixing, for example, our adherence to PCI. Okay, that's something that you can point to, and an auditor and a lawyer and all the people who are involved in things like lawsuits could say, okay, got it. Or if you're still struggling, for example, with the implementation or the management of GDPR, even though the date for the deadline of enforcement has passed, there are still a ton of companies who are not in compliance and are working towards compliance. I was reading through earnings calls recently, and everyone's saying, oh yeah, we're now just starting to understand the effects of GDPR. Cool. Where was that in your MarTech strategy, in your business strategy? How did that impact your balance sheet? How did that impact your operations? Everyone focused on the risk and compliance, which is appropriate, but now we have to look at the other 5 areas of this ISO 38500 framework to see the impact of a regulation like GDPR on the business. So, great question, complex question, and you're going to need help doing this. You're probably going to need to hire a consulting firm of some kind if your enterprise is big enough. You want to look at something like IBM. IBM has a whole bunch of teams that can do stuff like this. That they'll send thousands of consultants and eat all your cafeteria food or whatever. But it's how you can reach those states of compliance. But this is what you need to do. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. If you want help with your company's data and analytics, visit braintrustinsights.com today and let us know how we can help you.